Nassau is the capital, largest city, and commercial center of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The city has a population of 248,948, 70% of the entire population of the Bahamas. Lynden Pindling International Airport, the major airport for the Bahamas, is located about 16 kilometers west of Nassau city center, and has daily flights to major cities in the United States, the Caribbean, Canada, and the United Kingdom. The city is located on the island of New Providence, which functions much like a business district. Nassau is the site of the House of Assembly and various judicial departments and was considered historically to be a stronghold of pirates. Nassau's modern growth began in the late 18th century, with the influx of thousands of American Loyalists and their slaves to the Bahamas following the American Revolutionary War. Many of them settled in Nassau and eventually came to outnumber the original inhabitants. As the population of Nassau grew, so did its populated areas. Today the city dominates the entire island and its satellite, Paradise Island. However, until the post-Second World War era, the outer suburbs scarcely existed. Most of New Providence was uncultivated bush until Loyalists were resettled here following the American Revolutionary War. They established several plantations, such as Clifton and Tusculum. Slaves were imported as labor. After the British abolished the international slave trade in 1807, they resettled thousands of Africans liberated from slave ships by the Royal Navy on New Providence, along with other islands such as Grand Bahama, Exuma, Abaco and Inagua. In addition, slaves freed from American ships, such as the Creole case in 1841, were allowed to settle here. The largest concentration of Africans historically lived in the over-the-hill suburbs of Granttown and Baintown to the south of the city of Nassau, while most of the inhabitants of European descent lived on the island's northern coastal ridges. History. Nassau was formerly known as Charlestown. It was burned to the ground by the Spanish in 1684. Rebuilt, it was renamed Nassau in 1695 under Governor Nicholas Trott in honor of the Dutch stayholder and later also King of England, Scotland and Ireland, William III from the Dutch House of Orange-Nassau. Due to no effective governors, the Nassau was in bad shape. In 1703 Spanish and French Allied forces briefly occupied Nassau. From 1703 to 1718 there was no governor in the colony and by 1713, the sparsely settled Bahamas had become a pirate haven. The governor of Bermuda stated that there were over 1,000 pirates in Nassau and that they outnumbered the mere 100 of inhabitants in the town. They proclaimed Nassau a pirate republic, establishing themselves as governors. Examples of pirates that used Nassau as their base was Charles Vane, Thomas Barrow, Benjamin Hornigold, Calico Jack Rackham, and the infamous Edward Teach, known as Blackbeard, along with female pirates such as Anne Bonny and Mary Read. In 1718, the British sought to regain control of the islands and appointed Captain Woodes Rogers as royal governor. He successfully clamped down on the pirates, reformed the civil administration, and restored commerce. Rogers cleaned up Nassau and rebuilt the fort, using his own wealth to try to overcome problems. In 1720 the Spanish made an unsuccessful attempt to capture Nassau. During the wars in the 13 colonies, Nassau experienced an economic boom. With the funds from privateering a new fort, street lights and over 2,300 sumptuous houses were built and Nassau was extended. In addition to this, mosquito breeding swamps were filled. In 1776 the Battle of Nassau resulted in a brief occupation by the American Marines during the American War of Independence, where the Marines staged their first amphibious raid on Fort Montague after attempting to sneak up on Fort Nassau. In 1778 after an overnight invasion, American raiders led by Captain Rathburn, left with ships, gunpowder and military stores after stopping in Nassau for only 2 days. In 1782 Spain captured Nassau for the last time when Don Juan de Cajigal, Governor-General of Cuba, attacked New Providence with 5,000 men. Andrew Deviat, an American loyalist who resettled on the island, set forth to recapture Nassau with 220 men and 150 muskets to face a force of 600 trained soldiers. Devia forced the Spanish to surrender on April 17, 1783, without a single shot fired. Lord Dunmore governed the colony from 1787 to 1796. He oversaw the construction of Fort Charlotte and Fort Fincastle in Nassau. During the American Civil War, Nassau served as a port for blockade runners making their way to and from ports along the southern Atlantic coast for continued trade with the Confederacy. In the 1920s and 30s, Nassau profited from Prohibition. Geography. Located on New Providence Island, Nassau has an attractive harbor, a colorful blend of Old World and colonial architecture, and a busy port. The tropical climate and natural beauty of the Bahamas have made Nassau a popular tourist destination. Nassau developed directly behind the port area. New Providence provides 200 km² of relatively flat and low-lying land intersected by low ridges. In the center of the island there are several shallow lakes that are tidally connected. The city's proximity to the United States has contributed to its popularity as a holiday resort, especially after the United States imposed a ban on travel to Cuba in 1963. The Atlantis Resort on nearby Paradise Island accounts for more tourist arrivals to the city than any other hotel property. The mega-resort employs over 6,000 Bahamians, and is the largest employer outside government. Climate. Nassau features a tropical monsoon climate with relatively consistent temperatures throughout the course of the year. Summertime temperatures reach about 32 degrees Celsius and the winter months have daytime temperatures between 23 and 27 degrees Celsius, rarely falling below 15 degrees Celsius. Urban development. During the 19th century, Nassau became urbanized, attracting rural residents. Growth since the 1950s has been outwards from the town. The 1788 heart of Nassau was just a few blocks of buildings between Government House and the harbor, but the town gradually expanded east to Malcolm's Park, south to Wolf Road, and west to Nassau Street. Grantstown and Baintown south of the city became the main residential areas for blacks, and until about 30 years ago was the most populous part of the city. Most whites built houses along the shore, east as far as Fort Montague, west as far as Saunders Beach, and along the ridge edging the city. During the 20th century, the city spread east to Village Road and west to Fort Charlotte and Oaks Field. This semicircular residential development was the main area of settlement until after the Second World War, and marks a distinct phase in the city's expansion, the outer boundary to this zone being the effective limit of the continuous built-up area. The wealthier residents continued to spread east and west. In the last 40 years, residential development has been quite different. It has consisted mainly of planned middle-income subdivisions. Since the 1960s, government has sponsored low-cost housing developments at Yellow Elder, Elizabeth Estates, and Pinewood Gardens, in the Outer Ring. Downtown. Downtown is the hub for all activities in Nassau. Thousands of people visit daily, to shop, dine, sightsee and to enjoy the tropical climate of the city. While the busiest part of downtown is the Bay Street thoroughfare and the Woods Rogers Walk, located across the street from the port and parallel to Bay, the area extends for several blocks in each direction. It starts at West Bay, around the Junkanoo Beach area. A few hotels and restaurants are located on West Bay. The next landmark is the British Colonial Hotel, which marks the beginning of Bay Street proper. Pirates of Nassau Museum is just across from the British Colonial Hilton. The next few blocks of Bay Street are wall-to-wall boutiques, with a few restaurants and clubs interspersed throughout the retailers. Famous historical landmarks are also in the vicinity, including Vendue House, Christ Church Cathedral, and the Nassau Public Library. Although the tourist part of downtown peters out after about 7 blocks, smaller, more local stores are found all the way down Bay Street. At this point, Bay Street becomes East Bay. The new straw market is also a very busy place on a regular day. After the fire in 2001 it has been rebuilt to a new, more modern look. It consists of 4 sections that lead to Nassau Harbor in the back. Also in that area are many jewelry shops and bars. A next soon-to-be tourist hub is Pompey Square. Cable Beach, Cable Beach is recognized as the hotel district of Nassau. 5 enormous hotels, €2 of which are all-inclusive, are located on this strip. The area is also known for its dining, the Crystal Palace Casino, and the Golden Sands of Cable Beach. Most of the area's restaurants are located either in the hotels or across the street. There is little to no nightlife. There is a bit of shopping, most of it located in the Wyndham. The commercial future of Cable Beach is being reimagined with the development of Bahamas, a resort and casino project that will bring more than 2,000 hotel rooms and the largest gaming and convention facility in the Caribbean to this section of New Providence Island in spring of 2015. Demographics: Nassau has a population of 126,500 females and 121,800 males and is home to 59,707 households with an average family size of 4.15 according to the 2000 census. Nassau's large population is the result of waves of immigration from the Family Islands to the capital. Consequently, this has led to the decline in the population of the lesser developed islands and the rapid growth of Nassau. Transportation: Air. Lynden Pindling International Airport is located 16 kilometers from Nassau. New Providence Airport on Paradise Island was closed in 1999 with runway removed and integrated into the resort on the island. Water. Ferries provide water travel around Nassau to the surrounding islands. Prince George Wharf is the main port in the city that serves cruise ships with ports of call in Nassau. Roads. Public jitney buses and taxis provide transportation in and around Nassau. Rental cars are also available in the city and at the airport. Major roads in Nassau include Bay Street, Eastern Road, Blue Hill Road, East Street, Adelaide Road, Shirley Street, Soldier Road, Carmichael Road, Prince Charles Drive, John F. Kennedy Drive, Fox Hill Road, Wolf Road, Robinson Road. There are no controlled access highways on Nassau. Both Tom E. Williams-Darling Highway and Sir Milo Butler Highway are major roadways. Vehicles in Nassau drive on the left side like in Britain, but many vehicles are imported from the United States with left-hand steering wheel. Culture. Junkanoo. The city's chief festival is Junkanoo, an energetic, colorful street parade of brightly costumed people dancing to the rhythmic accompaniment of cowbells, drums and whistles. The word Junkanoo is named after the founder John Canoe. The celebration occurs on December 26 and January 1, beginning in the early hours of the morning and ending around 10 a.m. In popular culture, Nassau has featured as an important location in several movies, including the Beatles film Help, and the James Bond films Thunderball, and Never Say Never Again, and also for part of the action in Casino Royale. In 1981, it was used as a location for the ocean scene in For Your Eyes Only. Nassau is featured in the novel Tobin in Paradise by Stanley Morgan. The story is centered around the visit by the main character, Russ Tobin, to Nassau and Paradise Island, and the comedic events that ensue. Several other late 20th and 21st century movies have been set here, including After the Sunset, Into the Blue, and Flipper. The capital hosted the games of the 2004 World's Strongest Man contest. Atlantis Paradise Island was the venue for the 2009 Miss Universe pageant. Nassau is an unlockable level in the 2010 Gameloft racing game Asphalt 6, Adrenaline. In Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl, the character Elizabeth Swann says that Captain Jack Sparrow once sacked Nassau port without firing a shot. The city is featured in the 2013 video game Assassin's Creed 4. Black Flag is a pirate haven, housing the main protagonists. Historical pirates are encountered there such as Benjamin Hornigold, Edward Teach Blackbeard, Charles Vane, Calico Jack Rackham, Anne Bonny, and Mary Read. It is the setting for much of the shoreside activity on the States pirate-themed television series Black Sails. Sister cities. Nassau has 5 sister cities worldwide: Detroit, Michigan, USA, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, USA, Acapulco, Mexico, Shanghai, China, Piranha, Argentina. See also: Ardastra Gardens, Zoo and Conservation Center, List of Caribbean cities and towns by population, Nassau Public Library, references. External links, official website for Bahamas government.